Extra shout out to YouTube for pushing this notification out. Yeah. So today, I'm more motivated about you know making this live stream today. Feel me? I feel like mental awareness is something serious. You know, uh, I took a page today out of my own book, and what's up, Walter? And I said I can't stress over things that I have no control over. So since I'm not gonna stress over things I don't have no control over, I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do to push this channel forward. What's up? What's good, Walter? How was your day, bro? So basically, on this live stream, we're gonna talk about who is the best. Like I said, I'm gonna repeat myself. I can't stress over things I have no control over. So since I don't have control over how many people watch my live streams, how many people like my live streams or my videos or any of that, I'm not gonna stress about it no more. It's a it's a done deal. I always say that on Snapchat. I'm always like, yo, you shouldn't stress over things you have control over. I tell my kids the same thing and my friends. So I don't have control over YouTube. I really don't. So I'm not gonna stress over some things anymore. What's good? What's good? What's good, Ricky? So we're gonna do some speed testing. There's people that say AT&T is the best. There's people that say Verizon's the best. There's people that say that T-Mobile's the best. I would uh, I would honestly say it depends on your personal preference. Preference. That's what I'm trying to say. Uh, Everybody's good in their own way. Like, some people are hardcore T-Mobile fans. Some people are hardcore Verizon fans, AT&T. I basically have all three because whether people believe me or not, having visible plus plan is like having Verizon Good. It's exactly like having the Verizon Good because my performance is up there with millimeter wave and C-band. Like if I was on a regular postpaid get more line, from me testing Verizon postpaid last year, now having visible as a replacement, I can honestly say this visible $45 plan, which is now 35. Remember, it expires on the 31st of this month. So next Sunday, you got till next Sunday to get these deals. You don't have to port in a number, but I ported in my number from Google Voice because I liked it and I wanted it with visible. So it's gonna take a little bit longer than expected for me, you know, to get the number. We all know that Google Voice phone numbers are considered landline numbers. So, what's up, baby Yoda? So, we I gotta wait. I gotta wait to get the number over ported to visible, but I can't wait to have it over. Like I said, visible is my permanent resolution to Verizon. Uh, I love visible. This plan is amazing. I get the same coverage as postpaid. Remember, Visible's now on the same core. There's no different cores between Verizon and Visible. Nice. See,
Look at what I have.
they sent
Oh
you.
my cover.
They sent you a big box. What's up, Grizzly? Oh, it has an A for Alex. Nice. I missed you too, Grayson.
Look,
I missed you too.
more. This one cost 90 cents for two.
I thought you.
Look at my clothes
I
here.
thought you got me one. A cover.
I asked you, you didn't say nothing.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. You're right.
So it was me when I ordered it.
So Ricky says there is no 5G or C-band. Ricky's funny.
You're leaving?
So you had to do a quick speed test. I'll be back.
Oh, you're not going to leave?
No. I'm gonna do this. Give me a second, guys, because I'm in the bathroom. I use the bathroom real quick. I'm gonna mute this. Bet. What's up, Grizzly?
What I got?
What's up, Grizzly? Nice, it's cute. It's
No.
cute. They don't like shit. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, I gave him kisses. No, I'm gonna go. So I don't want him to go down the stairs to bark. So let me go get the S22, guys, because I'm live streaming on my T-Mobile business line. So I gotta get the S22. S22, baby. It's on Metro. So if I was ever to leave T-Mobile permanently, Metro would be my replacement. Metro by T-Mobile's $25 because I get truly unlimited data. You know, you guys know I've shown that to you guys in plenty of videos. Ricky says the FCC sucks. I mean, nice, yeah, looks nice. Yeah, looks nice. So, like I said before, it really does depend on who's your carrier and who do you prefer. You get what I'm saying? That's really what it goes down to. But in reality, you know, in my eyes, it's tough to say who's the best, you know, because like I said, from my anecdotal, whatever that word is, my experience with all three, they all have their flaws. At the mall, Verizon doesn't have good N77, but AT&T and T-Mobile have good. Well, T-Mobile has great N41, as I've shown you guys. So, you know, it's like a balance cheat, man. When you're talking about the best carrier, it is like you're juggling a balance sheet. You know, there's people that might say T-Mobile's better because they have more N41 nationwide, which is true. There is more N41 than there is C-band and uh, millimeter wave. But at the same time, you guys have to remember that T-Mobile had a head start on deploying their spectrum for 2.5. Not like Verizon and AT&T, where they had drawbacks from the FCC, and not only the FCC, the people that drive airplanes. I don't know what's the name of that commission. I don't dig too much into that other stuff. You know, so it's like I said, it's a balance cheat. Verizon, everybody knows Verizon has a lot of money, but I'm gonna tell you guys something. If people don't know that a percentage of the money that I pay for files goes into wireless, then I mean, I don't expect you to know this. The only reason I know this is because I asked the technician that came to my house. I'm like, bro, keep it a buck. You know, I'm not gonna say your name. You're not gonna get fired. You know, just keep it a buck. With Verizon Files, some of this money that I pay on my bill goes back into investing in wireless, right? Of course, sir. That's exactly what Verizon does. So it's not fair to compare Verizon to T-Mobile when you're talking about money, because T-Mobile doesn't have their own cable company. They have internet, that's it, and they just started the internet. Verizon's had Verizon Files since 2000, since the year 2000. Or no, I'm sorry, 2008. Sorry, 2008. So since 2008, Verizon, or I gotta Google it. Let me Google it so that way, because I can't remember. I had Verizon for so many years. You know, you can't keep track. Let me see how long Verizon. In what year did Verizon Files come out?
2005. According to Verizon, this technology offered customers unprecedented internet speeds and superior TV quality when it rolled out in 2005 as Verizon Fios.
There we go. So since 2005, I had Files. All right, since 2005, because I didn't just get Files in this address where I live at now. I had Files in my old address. So since 2005, my daughter was 5 years old when Files came out. So you're gonna tell me it's fair to compare Verizon Files that's been out for more than a decade, almost 2 decades? It already made 10 years in 2015. You feel me? No, I'm sorry. It made 10 years in 2015. So in 2000, yeah, in 2025, it'll be 20 years that they have been out. And a big portion of their proceeds go towards Verizon Files. I mean, Verizon Wireless. So you can't really compare, you know, money stacks, like I said, between Verizon and T-Mobile, because it's not fair. It is really not fair to compare the two. Not even in speeds, because I'm next to millimeter wave. Now, if I go back home where I don't have millimeter wave and we pin N41 versus N77, you're definitely going to see uh, a decrease in speeds. So we're going to test all of them in the same corner where I'm at. You know, this is Metro by T-Mobile because I'm streaming on T-Mobile. So we're getting 392 down with a 28 ping, 20 jitter. We got 50, 55, 53, 54, 54.8 down. I mean up, sorry. All right. Now we're going to grab uh, whoever comes out first. Okay. Now I'm going to leave visible for last because it's not fair. Millimeter wave is definitely gonna show ranking on this. You know, so we're gonna go and speed test Cricket wireless. So we got a 42 ping and 15 jitter, and right now AT&T is struggling. I mean, look at this, 95.2 up. I mean down with a 42 ping and 15 jitter, and then 25.6 up on Cricket. So we're pinning all the prepaid carriers against each other. Then we're gonna pull up the iPhone 13 Pro, and we're gonna, just demolish everybody with N260 and N261. There you go. Millimeter wave, the clear winner. So there's no competition with prepaid when there's ultra wideband available. There is no competition. You see what I'm talking about? Look at that. We got an 18 ping, 19 ping, and 3 jitter, 3094 over 367. So now when you have all this technology where I live at, right? Um, I can be, I could be devil's advocate, or I can tell you that it's not fair because T-Mobile's coming against two big dogs. All right, AT&T Uverse probably came out like in 2014, somewhere around there. All right, you can't compare people that own cable companies to a smaller carrier that only owns wireless 5G home internet. It's not a fair comparison. I don't care if they bought Sprint and they got all them customers from Sprint. That really doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. What does that mean? Because they gained a little bit of, momentum from buying Sprint. They bought Sprint because if not, T-Mobile was gonna sink. It was gonna sink. T-Mobile was so congested at my house before they merged with Sprint that I was only getting 4 megs down and 0.00 up. So they were desperately needing, and I mean desperately needing a bailout. So that's why I was so towards the whole situation with them merging with Sprint. Because T-Mobile is still the underdog. Regardless of whatever people want to say, T-Mobile is still the underdog. You got to weigh in AT&T Uverse. You got to weigh in AT&T DSL. You got to weigh in all these technologies that AT&T and Verizon have in their portfolio. You can't just say, well, we're just talking about the mobile side. No, because it's not just one mobile identity. It's not like T-Mobile. T-Mobile is a company that's stuck to pure wireless until last year or the year 2020, 2020, right? Yeah, 2020, that they decided to roll out 5G home internet. So that's what I'm saying. It's not fair for people to go all in on T-Mobile or on T-Mobile when they don't have all the money that Verizon and AT&T has. But yet, to somebody's study, they said the right term is that T-Mobile is the richest company in the world. And I know people are going to say, how are you saying that? Because T-Mobile USA is just one part of T-Mobile. There's T-Mobile Europe. And you got to remember, T-Mobile is owned by Dutch Bank, is a British bank in Europe. So who has more money? And this is a rhetorical question. I hope people know what rhetorical means. That you should know the answer for the people that don't know what rhetorical means. Who has more money? Banks or cell phone companies? Banks do. Bank of America, 3.3 trillion dollars. Chase, $5.5 trillion. There's not one cell phone company that has even more money than Amazon or Apple that are worth trillions. So imagine comparing a company that's backed by a bank compared to companies that are not backed by a bank. So if you really want to think about it, the problem here is, like I've been saying since last year, is that Dutch Bank doesn't want to invest none of their money to make T-Mobile better. And that's what people need to understand. And that's why sometimes I ride for T-Mobile, because people really don't understand that. Really don't. From a business standpoint, I understand. Because like I said, my friends own businesses. So my friend put it like this. He was like, Alex, if I own a McDonald's in Philly and I own one in Trenton, why would I use the money from the one that I have in Trenton to upgrade the one in Philly, when the one in Philly should be making me around the same amount of money that the one in Trenton is making me, and I should be able to flip that money to make the McDonald's better. So think about it like that. And I'm a human person. Imagine somebody that's a bank owner, somebody that has billions of dollars. Imagine how they see it. They're saying that the money here that T-Mobile's making here should be enough to make the company profit. And if it doesn't make them profit, oh well. Why do you think Dutch Comp was ready to sell T-Mobile years ago? First, they tried to sell them to Sprint when Sprint was popular, and when I had Sprint, when everybody had Sprint, and Sprint was making a lot of freaking money. They tried to sell it to Sprint. The FCC didn't allow it. Then AT&T came trying to merge with T-Mobile and buy T-Mobile because Dutch Comp wanted to sell T-Mobile. They weren't happy with the profits and how T-Mobile was going over here in the United States. So what they do? The FCC blocked it again. So trust me, T-Mobile could be the best of the best in the United States. If they really wanted to roll out millimeter wave, and Dutch Comp, the bank that owns T-Mobile, that owns majority of the shares, wanted to sit here and say, we're gonna invest and roll out millimeter wave even more aggressive, and C-band and all this stuff more aggressive than those other two. If they really wanted to be a competitor, Dutch Comp would do it. But since like I'm explaining to you guys, this is one of the most detailed live streams I swear to God I have ever done on YouTube in a while. Telling you that when it comes to business, it doesn't make financial sense to Dutch Comp, to the people in Europe, to that British bank, to invest their hard-earned money from Europe in the United States when they feel like T-Mobile should be already where they're supposed to be because of the money that's coming in. And something happened in the corner. Jesus, I'm standing right here. Somebody got shot. It sure as hell looks like it. And I'm not going to that corner. I'm gonna stay my happy ass over here talking to you guys. I don't know what happened and I don't know nothing. I was over here looking at towers. So anyway, moving out that out the way. Um, you know, that's how they see it. So from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's why I like explaining to you guys things really different. I like going deeper than just talking about, well, they're a cell phone company and they're supposed to be profitable, but no. If you because I sat there and thought about it when I seen, is the Indian guy. He talks good English too. I understood everything he said. He has like 5 million subs. And he's gonna be like, he was like, you can argue with me all you want, but after you see all this proof on this video that I'm about to show you, that T-Mobile's the richest company in the world when it comes to having money, and he proved it. Dutch Comp is worth like billions, billions of dollars in Europe. So imagine you're backed by a bank that's worth billions of dollars. Well, they're worth. I think he said they were worth around 2.5 trillion dollars if you convert it into U.S. money. That Dutch Comp is worth around 2.5 trillion. So imagine Dutch Comp is up there with Chase, Bank of America. So of course T-Mobile getting backed by a bank that's worth 2.5 trillion dollars. It is the richest cell phone company in the world. But do they want to invest all any of that money into T-Mobile? No, they don't. They don't. They feel like the money that's being made here should be enough to drive T-Mobile forward. T-Mobile United States forward. Now T-Mobile Europe, that's a whole different ballgame. A whole different ballgame. It's in Europe, so of course they're going to invest money into it. I think they invest more money into T-Mobile Europe than T-Mobile USA. And he even talked about the countries that T-Mobile's in. It's not just in Europe. He's saying there's T-Mobile in Africa and a whole bunch of different places in the world. And the reason why Dutchcom doesn't want it T-Mobile USA to have roaming privileges in them countries where T-Mobile Africa and T-Mobile Europe and all this is at is because they want money. It wouldn't be profitable to them to give you access to their network in Scotland, in I don't even know too many parts of Europe, but anywhere in Europe, it wouldn't make sense to them, right? No, they want to make money off of you. So that's why they charge you all these roaming charges. But I'm telling you right now, T-Mobile has service in different parts of the world, whether you want to believe me or not. Look it up on YouTube. So if T-Mobile really wanted to be aggressive, let's say if Dutch Comp really wanted to be aggressive and get T-Mobile these roaming agreements, T-Mobile would have world roaming. And then who was going to be the best? Just let that sink in. If Dutch Comp gave T-Mobile world roaming, then who would be the best? Would millimeter wave matter at that point? And this is a real honest question. If Dutch Comp gave T-Mobile USA world roaming, that means you could be anywhere in the world, and as long as T-Mobile had service, they got T-Mobile there, you would have service there. Or let's say they worked up a deal to have roaming with every small company in Africa, I don't know, Germany, I don't know, just all over the world, man, all over the world. Then who would be the best? So that's what I'm saying, man. When it comes to 5G, it's Verizon with ultra wideband. When it comes to midband, it's T-Mobile with N41. When it comes to coverage, in New Jersey, I mean, it depends where you're at in New Jersey, to be honest. It really does depend where you're at in New Jersey. Because even Verizon, when I lived in Ashtabula, there was places that Verizon did not have service. There was places in Ohio where Verizon had no service. What matter of fact, there was a place in Geneva, Ohio, which, you know, Geneva, Ohio. And in Geneva, Ohio, because I only lived, Ashtabula is only like 20 to 25 minutes away from Ashtabula, right? So in Geneva, Ohio, T-Mobile had all its bars and Verizon had one bar. And then when we went to this big festival, it's a big Catholic festival they do in Geneva. And we went over there. We went to this wooded place where they had this big Virgin Mary that they were going to light it up with, like, I don't know if it was fireworks, but it looked nice at nighttime. So anyway, we went over there because my ex's family was heavy Catholic. My family's Christian, but her family's Catholic. So, I was there with her. I like showing respect. I don't criticize nobody's personal religion. Your religion is your religion. I don't have nothing against your religion. So anyway, I went. And Verizon had no service in that wooded area. But guess who has service there? T-Mobile. No service for Verizon, but T-Mobile has service there. So that's what I'm saying, man. You're not talking to somebody that's only lived in Jersey. I done lived in Connecticut. I done lived in Massachusetts. I done lived in Philadelphia. I done lived in New Jersey. I done lived in New York. And I lived in Ohio. I lived in 6 different states in the 40 years that I am. You feel me? So at the end of the day, that's why, for my personal experience, everybody has flaws. Nobody's perfect. So it depends what you're calling the best. I'm dead serious. It depends what you're calling the best. And nobody's gonna put my theory to the test. Nobody's gonna go with Verizon to Geneva, Ohio. Freaking it's like, wow, like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from Cleveland. So at the end of the day, like I said, it depends. Who do you prefer? But in my eyes, there is no best. Because to me, best means high standards. Best means that it has to have coverage everywhere I go. No excuses if there's trees. No excuses if I'm hiking. None of that. I don't want to hear no excuses. Wow, Mr. Speed Racer. Jesus. Good Lord, you guys heard that? So that's what I'm saying. To me, there is no best. You guys seen how bad Verizon gets at the Roman noodle spot in the mall. They just added N77 to the mall. Remember, I was speed testing it for like 2 seconds? They just added N77. So it seems like all this criticism that I'm giving Verizon, they're actually doing something about it. Because you know what it is for them not to have N77 at the mall? Last year, now this year, they do have N77, and it's getting faster. So that's what I'm saying. There is no best, guys. There is no best. Remember the video that I got on here? That video already got over like 2,000 views with the truck driver girl, the Hispanic lady that was talking about Verizon was crapping out where she was doing her deliveries to and where she was traveling through. So that's what I'm saying. There is no best, man. When it comes to coverage, there is no best. When it comes to speeds, Verizon's the best. But when it comes to sole coverage, covering inch by inch of a state, there is no best. They all got their flaws. Like I said, the cop bar, I like to call it the cop bar. I'm gonna see when me and my cousin go back over there. I'm gonna show you guys the proof. When you see my visible line roaming on AT&T, anyway, I showed it. I made a video on that bar, showing that Verizon didn't have no service and laughing at my cousin. So that's what I'm talking about. So when you say something's the best, like there's another a sports bar that I would go with my cousin to, and there's no service over there either for Verizon. So that's what I'm saying. There is no best. At the bar, Verizon gets LTE. In the kitchen, it'll go to 5G UW. In the front now, last year it would just stay on LTE. Now this year with the improvements that Verizon's doing here in Trenton, now I get 5G UW. Now I get ultra, not ultra wideband, but you get what I'm saying, N77 in the bar. So that's what I'm saying, guys. It really depends. You can't really call something the best if it doesn't get service everywhere. If it doesn't get service everywhere, you can't call something the best. I know a lot of people say Verizon's the best in coverage, yeah, where they live at. There's a lot of weak points, like where the homie Carlos in Nevada. Who's the best in Nevada? Verizon is the best in Nevada, hands down. He's proven it time after time. But over here in the East Coast, Verizon needs to improve a lot. And even like I said, they need to do improvements in Ohio. In Manor, Ohio, the same thing. T-Mobile was better than Verizon in Manor, Ohio. T-Mobile was better than Verizon in Manor. AT&T's getting better speeds over here. Well, Cricket. 39 ping, 14 jitter. That jitter's kind of high, though. That jitter is kind of high. There we go. Now let's go to Metro. And then see what kind of speeds Metro gets here. There we go. 24 ping, 4 jitter, 425 down, over 4. Over 29.2. See? Now we're going to test good old Visible. I love Visible. I really do. Think this plan is amazing. Samsung greatness. Boom. Once again, no competition in the house. $2,900 over 120, 130, 150, 158. There you go. Once again, once again, Verizon with the win. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to 5G, Verizon takes the win. Now, when it comes to indoor 5G, T-Mobile takes the win. N41 is a beast when we're talking about indoor. N41 is a beast. All my boys at the store. N41 is a beast. Good, homie.
Everywhere. You supposed to be at work?
Nah, I got 11, bro.
I was about to put my hands up. You got it.
Oh shit, you ain't shit, bro. But yeah, guys. Damn, I got something to eat at the crib, bro. Juno. But yeah, man. Like I said, it depends. Call quality in Verizon is awesome, though. I will say that. Call quality is Verizon. For the most part, I will say this. From my personal experience for the last 2 years, Verizon does have better coverage than T-Mobile in most places I go to. I will say that. And I'm talking about uh, quality of like calling quality and stuff like that. But when it comes to 5G, I mean, does Verizon need to step it up at the American Dream Mall? Yes, they do. They don't have uh, not even C-band in there. They got millimeter wave outside, but not inside the building. They should put. Look at how tall them things are. They should have put millimeter wave in there. Feel me? But they don't. And I got a headache. I wanted to eat a hot dog. All right, broski. Primo, ¿cómo está? Yep. I'm about to get me a hot dog. I'm starving. Starving like Marvin. Starving like Marvin. with some nacho cheese, baby. Put some nacho cheese on it. What's up, buddy? How's it been today?
Huh?
How's it been today? No craziness today?
Oh my God, that's the one time that I don't know the spark is crazy. Everybody coming to fight against me. Not one person. Everybody, lady to up to down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me see. I want something else. Oh, man. Tengo que buscártelo. Es que no. Tú sabes que los dos ponemos muchas horas. Como no tengo break. Muchas cosas en la cabeza no me da ni pienso algunas veces. What is it? The garlic and cheese. Garlic and cheese. This is gonna be separate, buddy. Hold on. Let me take one of those two. I want something else when I'm here. So yeah, guys, like I was saying, man, like as soon as I get home, I'm gonna end this live stream though, because my girl wants to watch a movie. I'm not gonna continue this live stream on the computer. I gotta spend time with my boo. Feel me? So yeah, guys. So I mean, what can I say, guys? I do need something sweet though. I don't know if I got something sweet at the house. I want an apple pie. Yeah, I'm about to eat. I got soda at the house. I put it in the refrigerator, so I'm good. I'm about to soda. Está bien. So yeah, guys. So like I said, for the most part, it depends who you prefer and who's the best to you. Because if T-Mobile's the best to you, you're not gonna care what nobody else says. You're gonna see T-Mobile as the best, and that's it. So it depends. It really depends who's your favorite carrier. You know, some people love T-Mobile, some people love AT&T. So I mean, to be honest, I like all three. I like all three. You know, I like all three carriers. I just charge it all together. I don't feel like using two different cards. Oh shoot! I think I got the. You guys made it easy anyway. Where the hell's my card at? There you go. No cash back. No cash back.
You know the guy coming with the lady?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's my friend. I've known him for years.
Huh? Is your friend?
Yeah. I've known him for years.
How old are you, the friend?
Huh?
How old are you?
How old is he? I don't know. I know he's younger than me. Because I'm 40. So I know he's way younger than me. He's probably like 20 something.
20?
20 something, like 25, 26. Yeah, no, I'm serious. A lot of my friends are going bald and they're way younger than me.
Yeah,
I got a friend that's.
look like 40.
No, I know. But that's why, like I said. And it depends too. If you drink a lot of alcohol, drink a lot, that makes you look older. Colombia. Bien, bien. ¿Y tú? Estoy comprando unas cosas para irme para la casa a descansar.
¿Tienes algo de tomar?
¿Ah?
¿Tienes algo de tomar? Yo acabé ahorita poniendo una moto en el parqueo. Este me está viendo 200.
Yeah. Oh, shit, pues está bueno. Está bueno. My boys offered me to buy me a drink. So I want something, I don't know, can. I wonder if they got cherry Pepsi. I want some cherry Pepsi. He's offering, I'm taking his offer. Or some vanilla Coke. Cherry Pepsi or vanilla Coke? Which one should I get? Damn. It's a hard choice, guys. I'm always drinking cherry Pepsi, though. I want some vanilla Coke. I'm always drinking cherry Pepsi.
No problem. On that one too. ¿Quieres algo más?
Hold on, so I can get points. Hold on, no. Jesus.
I'm sorry, I know you're tired, but I just finished work.
No, I'm
so
not tired.
look at me.
I'm just done.
I finished
By any
working
stage.
myself. I feel like I want to follow.
Something happened up the street.
Where?
Up the street. The ambulance was there
Yeah.
to pick somebody up. Right?
Like normal.
Right on the corner of Chambers and Hamilton.
Sir, how much is the cheeseburger? How much is it? Uy, qué bueno este. I'll take one. No, forget it, no.
Está bien, Colombia, gracias, bro.
Estoy durmiendo.
Colombia.
Vemos.
Ese indio de Colombia.
Ya.
Nos vemos, primo, cuídate. Oh, man. My other boy's messing with my other boy. So I got some vanilla Coke on him. He's a great guy, man. He works hard. Telling me he was working on a motorcycle and got paid $200. Shit, that's good money. Shit. That is good money, baby. Bills, guys. It's all about bills. Cell phone bills, cable bills, light bills, water bills, rent. All that is about to come up next week. This is technically the last week of freaking... Yes, because today's already... What time is it? 12 o'clock? Yes, already Monday. This is the last week of March. It feels like this year's flying, guys. But anyway, back to the subject. I like all three carriers. If I really... The only thing that I don't like about Verizon, my only gripe with Verizon, is that they stopped their roaming agreement with Claro, which is one of the biggest carriers in Puerto Rico. Claro, right? So now my cousin, the police officer, when he went to Puerto Rico on vacation, his service was bad. Like, he hardly got any service. So now my nephew, if he comes to the United States, because they had mutual roaming agreements, when he would come with Claro to the United States, his phone would say Verizon. And then when my cousin used to go to Puerto Rico and he has Verizon, it would say Claro. It wouldn't show roaming on his iPhone. It would say Claro, which is basically clear. That's the name of the company in Spanish, clear. So people could understand. So anyway, the mobile company Clear and Verizon, I guess Hans Bestberg, he didn't know how to work up a deal like the old CEO. The contract finished, and I don't think Hans Bestberg wanted to renew it. So he decided to pick a new partner. And the new partner for roaming in Puerto Rico, the cell phone company, is not as big as Clear. So since it's not as big as the Clear mobile company, then your roaming is crappy. Super duper crappy. So my other cousin, the one that's the fireman, he switched from Verizon to T-Mobile. And when he went to Puerto Rico on vacation recently, he had service almost all over the island. So every time I called him, he was able to answer the phone. My other cousin, bro, I had no service, bro. They were out there together. I have no service, bro. How I'm gonna pick up the phone for you if I had no service? So that's what I'm talking about. So just imagine, imagine that shit. Imagine. So it sucks. That's my biggest gripe. Hans Vestberg should have kept the roaming agreement with Clear, where people that had Clear would come to the United States and roam on Verizon, and people that have Verizon would roam and Clear in Puerto Rico, which is the biggest, besides T-Mobile and AT&T, of course, they're like the third largest carrier in Puerto Rico. So that sucks. They got what like a regional carrier, that's only available. It has spotty coverage, kind of like Sprint. Remember, Sprint had all these roaming agreements, so it's kind of like Sprint. It had all these roaming agreements and all this, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like Sprint, having all these roaming agreements, and that's basically it. So that's basically how this company is. They have roaming agreements with Claro and T-Mobile and AT&T. So for that, Hans Vestberg was better off talking to AT&T or to Crown, whatever the hell's the name of that company that bought the AT&T towers, and talking to them and coming out with a business, better business deal of roaming on them, or talking to T-Mobile and roaming on T-Mobile in Puerto Rico. That would have been way better than the roaming agreement they got right now, because the new roaming agreement sucks, guys. The service is bad in Puerto Rico. So that's one thing I don't like. If I go to Puerto Rico with Cricket, I'm good. AT&T sold their towers, but the contract says that AT&T customers are still allowed to roam at no extra cost, unlimited internet roaming on the people who they sold the towers to. See, it is a big difference, a huge difference. Sí, pero me fui a buscar algo de comer. So at the end of the day, not five on so at the end of the day, that's basically what it comes down to, guys. That is basically what it comes down to. Um, the roaming, and I'm glad I get roaming, guys. Baja eso. I'm glad I get roaming with Verizon, with Visible Plus plan. You see, it says international roaming because they're considering Puerto Rico and other places international. So since they're considering those places, ¿quién se está bañando, Iliana?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's her. I thought it was you still in the shower.
No, I think I was back to my clothes.
So so they consider all that international roaming, and I showed you guys on the video and on the live stream I did that the Visible Plus plan gives you roaming. So at least it's somewhat kind of roaming. It's not like before where the cloud-based service didn't have roaming, no type, shape, or form. So that's why you see a discrepancy of $15 from the $30 plan, the regular Visible plan, to the Visible Plus plan. And the big discrepancy is that you're getting roaming, you're getting millimeter wave, and you're getting C-band. So it's worth the $15 price to upgrade from the $30 plan to the $45 plan, because they're giving you a lot of perks. They're giving you 50 gigs of premium data. They're giving you roaming. They're giving you what else besides roaming? They're giving you millimeter wave, and they're giving you C-band. So since you're getting all them benefits, why not get the more expensive plan? Jesus, I feel like I feel like I work for Verizon at this point. You feel me? Like I said, with the discount, the $20 discount you get from me, The link is on my bio. I mean, on the community tab. I'm about to put that link on my bio. I know how to do it from the computer. I'm about to do it. And I'm out to because it's crazy. And you get $20 off. You pay $15 for the Visible Plus plan, and $5 for the Visible plan because you get $20 off if you hurry up and do it before March 31st. Before or on March 31st. If you wait till the first of eight April. Sorry, April. If you wait till April Fool's Day, you waited too late. So yeah, guys. That was it, man. If you enjoyed the live stream, make sure you guys smash that like button. Now I'm about to lay down with my boo, watch a movie. Thank you so much for understanding. Like I said, mental health is a serious thing. I'm not saying I'm having mental issues. I'm just saying I'm letting things that I have no control over on YouTube stress me out. So that's why I've been going off these last couple of days. But now I'm done with that. I'm not letting things that I have no control over stress me out. So guys, take care. God bless. And stay tuned. Because if I wake up early enough tomorrow, I will be going to the mall to test out 5G Plus. What am I taking my watch off for? Test out 5G Plus at the mall with AT&T, with Visible, and to see if, because the last time I was at the mall was like sometime last month, in February. I haven't gone in March, so hopefully the service got better in 77. So I'll see. I'm not gonna promise nothing, but we'll see. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Like I always say, if you want to support the channel, the Buy Me a Coffee link is in the bio. So I'm also gonna add my Venmo link to there and my Cash App link to there. I'm just gonna have all these different links to whoever wants to support. That'll be a great way to support. So yeah, guys. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Chew already, and thank you for watching, guys. God bless. Take care and be safe. Catch you guys on the next one. Deuces.